Good evening, YouTube. This is Jared Miner coming at you live DFS Quarry here for a main slate breakdown for October 23rd, Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018. We got a main slate of 8 games. I am here flying solo tonight as Joe is working late and cannot join you. You can follow me, JS Miner 87 on Twitter, and you can also certainly follow DFS Quarry on Twitter as well. We got a great slate ahead of you for you today on Tuesday, and let's run right into this breakdown, shall we? First game on the slate, you will find the Florida Panthers taking on the New York Rangers, with Florida favored at 114 with an over-under of 6. Looking at this here game, Florida's certainly starting to pick it up after a slow start. Certainly production there from the first 2 lines. When I'm looking at this game, what I want to see, I like seeing Dadonov. I like where Barkov sits, and I'm really liking where Vincent Trocheck sits. I've always wondered why Florida doesn't get the love it deserves from the DraftKings salary standpoint. These are valuable plays. Dadonov's finally up at 6,800. Bukestad, or my fault there. Barkov's at 6,800 as well. Trocheck's still down 6,500. So they are starting to get some recognition, but no one in the 7,000s. And I think they're in play here for sure against the Rangers team that has been nothing short of mediocre really when it looks at their production on the year. They're not scoring 2.3 goals a year for the Rangers on the offensive side, and they are giving up 3.5. Florida, they like to draw penalties, 4.5 penalties, power plays a game they're getting. They're not converting on as many as I'd like to see, but with Rangers coming in near the bottom of penalty kill here, I think you got to look at this Florida power play. I think they are in play, especially even on a main slate and a big slate here as well. If I am looking at anyone on the Rangers side, I think it's got to be that Chris Kreider and Mika Zibanejad. They're really the only ones that are getting some sort of production, 3.8 and a 4.44 fantasy points per game respectively. But they are at 5,200 or 5,700 and 6,200. So I'm not really on them. And I think Aaron Ekblad, from a defensive standpoint, might be in play. He comes in at 3,800, but he does get 1.33. So I like where he sits, at least in this game and on that slate. Hey, Mitch, I see you joined the show. First time running it on my own, so let me know how I do. It's certainly a little bit of work doing it all on your own, but we'll get through it here. But that's where I sit here. I don't really like any goalies in this game. The slate, these are confirmed goalies. It's Hutchinson and Georgiev. Georgiev had a horrible first game for the Rangers here, and I think against an offensive powerhouse. You gotta love where Florida sits. So, for the win, I guess you could run Hutchinson because I don't see the Rangers winning this game. Next game on the slate is the Arizona Coyotes and the Columbus Blue Jackets at home. Columbus is a 168 favorite and a 5.5. Looks like we are expecting Antti Ranta in net for the Coyotes and Sergei Bobrovsky for Columbus. I kind of like where Columbus sits in this one. And some news to look at is it's just been confirmed today that Seth Jones, great defenseman for Columbus, is going to be making his debut from an MCL tear. So that's something to look out for. Is he in play? I don't know if I'd play him personally. He's still taken I think it's 6,200 price tag there. Yeah, they still want a 6,200 price tag on DraftKings, a little too high. Coming off a tear of that, and against an Arizona team, this Arizona team, defensively speaking, they're a really great defensive team. It's just they got no offense here. 7 games played, 10 goals, 4. I mean, this is just bad. 1.4 goals a game. That just screams stay away from the DFS players. You look at Columbus, the power play, is going up against a 4th-ranked penalty kill for Arizona. Just news today. Just came in. Winnipeg has tied up the game against the St. Louis Blues. Another goal by Scheifele, and I have them in my lineup. Hopefully, I'm making a comeback here for tonight. But where do we go with this Columbus stack? I like that first line production. Past 5 games, you got Artemi Panarin, you got Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Cam Atkinson. You look 7 points for Panarin, 5 points for Atkinson. Dubois only has 2 points, so you might just stay away from Dubois. But I think, I'm not looking for any power play line here. Defensively, I do like where Werenski is, Zach Werenski at 5,800. I might play him over that. Ryan Murray in play, 3,400. He's got 3 assists in 5 games. That's not bad production for someone that's only 3,400. Aside from that, Foligno with 4 points in the past 5 games, he might be in play. But really, for me, it's this Columbus first line and perhaps Werenski could be in play. And like I said, I look at this Arizona team. There's only one Arizona person I think I did highlight, and that's Vinny Hinostroza. If you wanted to one-off him as a salary savings, he's only at 3,300, and he's at a 2.86 points per game there. That's not bad production. And what does he play? He is on that 3rd line. So maybe he's in play, at least from a salary savings standpoint, but I really don't like where he sits overall. He's got 3 points, 13 shots in the past 5 games, and they are running him 15 minutes on that 3rd line. Let's see if he's getting power play time. So he's on that 2nd power play unit and has gotten connection on that power play in the last 5 games. But that's the only person I like on this Arizona side. And I think Bobrovsky is actually in play in here. Arizona does get a lot of shots. I think you got to consider Bobrovsky in this slate to put up big numbers. I don't rule out the shutout here. Next game on the slate, we got Calgary Flames and Montreal Canadiens. A little intra-Canada matchup here. Let me pull up some stats real quick for you, and as the line loads up, Calgary is a 114 Vegas favorite on the road against Montreal with a 5.5 over-under. At least they're mixing up the over and unders in this Vegas here. Finally, usually they only know the number 6. These are pretty well-balanced teams. Real well-balanced teams. I'm looking across on my little VLOOKUPs and stuff that I do. Most of them are ranked, goals for, it's 3.3 per game for Montreal. For Calgary, it's 3.8. Goals against, it's 2.7 for Montreal, 3 for Calgary. I mean, they're really around the middle of the pack in the league. I look at this game and I tell you what I see. I like Montreal, to be honest. Mike Smith did have a good game in Calgary, but, he's always a real – or no, my apologies. It wasn't. It was Rittich. the other day that got the win. He played pretty solid. I think he should probably be their starting goaltender. But I do like Montreal in this game here. Believe it or not, they're pulling what I call an upset. When I look here, you got both teams getting around 4 power plays a game. Most of them around middle of the pack, both in penalty kill and in power play, excuse me. I like this first line I like the first and second line of Montreal in this one, actually. And I like Paul Byron from the third line because of, the shot production you see there. But you look, 7 points for Tomas Tatar, 14 shots in the past 5 games. Great production there. You look at Brendan Gallagher on the other wing, the right wing on that first line, 3 goals and assists, 16 shots. These are great numbers. They don't get the minutes quite that you would see from other first liners. Both get around 17 minutes. And you see where that's made up, with the third line getting 15 minutes, 14 minutes there respectively. I've liked Jeff Petrie. Petrie's price has dropped down a little bit. He's still hovering. It's 5,700. I think that's what he's been. So I like the production he gives on any given night. Mike Riley, 3 points last 5 games at 3,900. He's probably your go-to play in this one. That's pretty good production at a fair price. Calgary, you got to look here, and it's kind of been, I think, their first and second line. Johnny Gaudreau's just been on fire. You can't ignore that. 4 goals, 5 points total, last 5 games, 17 shots. That's great production. This second line has actually been pretty stellar as well. Matt Tkachuk, 2 goals, 2 assists, past 5 games. And, like I said, I'm a little hesitant on the power plays for both these teams. I would probably, you could either pair the first line of Calgary or the second line, and I think you're going to get point production. I still like Montreal for the win here, and I like that. Look at some of these point totals for Montreal. Paul Byron, 5,300. He's getting 4.46 points per game. That's not bad. 5,600 for Brendan Gallagher, 3.86. Good production there as well. It's 4.36, 5,600 for Tomas Tatar. These aren't bad numbers. Max Domi, 5,800 is 3.43. So I like that line. And if I'm picking a line tomorrow, I think I am leaning towards that second line of Montreal. Jonathan Drew and Max Domi. I kind of like that pair. It might only be a pair. I might take a chance and run off on the off chance of the Tomas Tatar and a Max Domi. I know they're first and second line. They do play on the same power play if that power play did hit, but that's where I'm heading on there. And like I said, you could either pick Calgary's first or second line. I think the chance for a goal is there from the way they've been, and that they're, coming on the cusp with Johnny Gaudreau, Elias Lindholm, 2 goals past 5 games. You got Frolik. He had that multi-goal game. You can't expect that all the time. You'd be better off going Mikael Backlund and Matt Tkachuk if you're going to take that second line pair. If you want to pay down on salary, you can hope for Sam Bennett to get you a goal. He's gotten 2 in the past 5 games. Derek Ryan, he's got a goal and an assist in the past 5 games if you wanted a salary dump with a chance of offense there. They are also in play. Goalie-wise, like I said, I think I'm going to steer away from goalies just because this game's a little unpredictable. Moving on to the next one here, we got Boston heading in to the Ottawa Senators. Boston with a 143 favorite, 6 on the over-under. We have Tuukka Rask scheduled to, this is tentative, but left wing lock says it's Tuukka Rask tomorrow versus Craig Anderson. But I think that's an old update. I think that was like 3 months ago. So keep in line. Like I said, Joe's real good with DFS Quarry on Twitter. Get posting those lineups as we can get them, because you don't want to be that guy that starts a goalie that doesn't even play. So that being said, let's head into this one. We got Boston. We got Ottawa. Believe it or not, even though that Boston is favored, I like Ottawa all the way here. And just some stats to throw out at you. On the road, Boston's played 5 games. They are 1-2-2 on the road with 9 total goals. They are just not scoring as much at home, or on the road, as they are at home. You look at home, 3 games played, 18 goals. So that's just crazy difference here. I like Ottawa all the way in this one, and I think you get suckered, because what line are you going to play for Boston? You're going to play Bergeron. You're going to play Marchand. You're going to play Pasternak. And those are high cost money. You basically broke your bank, So look at Ottawa, and there's some production from this Ottawa team. Ottawa has put up 4 goals a game on average. Yeah, they've given up a good bit as well, 3.6 they've given up. So the chance for goals is there on Boston, but I'm going to take the road, being on the road stat with a little more, concern. So where am I heading? Yeah, it stinks that Brady Tkachuk's still out. But that being said, Chris Tierney is one that catches you. He came over from that San Jose trade, and since then he's been a real, workhorse for Ottawa. I think he has 1 goal, 6 assists in the past 5 I was looking at earlier. Let me pull it up here quick for you. But that's great production. Great production from him at the second line spot, nonetheless. 1 goal, 6 assists, 9 shots. So he's in on goals. Ryan Zingle on that wing on the second line, 2 goals, 2 assists, 16 shots past 5 games. And even Mark Stone, 3 goals, 2 assists, 11 shots, 5 blocks. And it's power play points, folks. It's power play. Tierney, 3 power play points in the past 5 games. Mark Stone, 2 power play points in the past 5 games. Mikhail Bodker, he's 3,900. They have him scheduled on the top line as of late. 2 goals, 3 assists, 10 shots past 5 games. And once again, with power play. Where does that fall in for Boston? Boston's 21st on the penalty kill. They don't take too many penalties a game. They're hovering 3, so they're one of the more disciplined teams. But you know what? There's a lot of key plays here, like I was saying. And Maxime Lajoie coming in as Ottawa defense. He's at 5 points per game at 5,100. 7 points, 7 games played on the year. He's taking 3 shots a game from that defensive spot, so you can't ignore that. Ryan Zingle, he averages 3.2 shots a game. So I think that is your better play. Matt Duchene, he's 5,900. He's getting 4 points a game. So, like I said, a lot of Ottawa plays here. And I think it's probably surprising a lot of DFS players that they have that value, or maybe they aren't even aware of it. But you look at Boston, past 5 games, really the production has come from that first line. Like I said, 9 goals in the past 5 games from that first line. What those guys are scoring. They have 3 goals with total from that second line with DeBrusk and Krejci, 3 goals with Anders Bork and Nordstrom, and then 1 goal from their fourth line. Probably an empty netter here, but if you are going that way, it's not out of the realm for Boston to win that you run that Bergeron, Marchand, Pasternak combo. But look at that. All 3 of them are over 7,000. That's just, you can probably afford it. So I guess if you were taking them, you might do like a Marchand, Bergeron, Krejci or something to break up that balance. But that's all I have here. Certainly, like I said, all Ottawa. Even one other defenseman to point out, and I know I've had him in my lineup several times, Dylan DeMello. 3,500, 3 points a game out on average. So that's pretty great production and doesn't break the bank either. Let's go on to the next one, shall we, folks? We have San Jose Sharks going in to Nashville Predators. Nashville is a 123 favorite, 5.5 over under. Like I said, this is 3 months ago. They project Martin Jones to be in net for the Sharks. They had Tuukka Rask, but we know that's not correct. It's probably going to be UC Saros. Nashville, hottest team in the league right now, 7-1. It's hard to think that a San Jose team's going to cause them to stumble. Yeah, you're right, Mitch. LaJoie D, like looking at that, even myself, it popped my eye. A great price and great production for him. But let's look at this here. This is probably a game that I'm going to avoid in the main slate. I might be more apt to pair Nashville's defense, maybe some of that production. But just really inconsistent has been my take on Nashville this year. I mean, I've been on many trains where I'm like, Nashville's going to put up 5, and they might win the game. Well, they probably did win. They're 7-1, but it's been 3-2 or something of that nature. And they've really probably caused me to bust in several contests, because price hasn't really even adjusted now for them. Let me open some relevant stats here. As we know, let's just break down some team stats for us here. Nashville, 3.4 goals for per game. Their goalie situation is certainly one of the best in the league. They're only giving up 1.9. Their penalty kill is 7th in the league, and they're very disciplined, only taking 2.75 penalties a game. From San Jose's side, they draw penalties. They are drawing 3.8 power plays a game. They give up 2.6 goals against. I'm kind of shocked at that. And they score 3.3. I do like Nashville overall in this game for the win, especially at home. That being said, let's see what plays we can do here. Certainly, Pavelski, 4 goals in the past 5 games, 13 shots, 5,500 price tag. I think that's, certainly a good play if you anticipate some goals from his way. Evander Kane, he's just a shot hog. I wouldn't be opposed to putting him in just for the sheer shot production and throw in an assist. You probably have yourself a decent play. 23 shots past 5 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. So he's involved a lot. I like Kevin LeBlanc. That first line, he does have 5 assists, 16 shots at 4,200. That's a fair value there. If you run a duo of Pavelski-LeBlanc, if you think they're going to win, could be. Past 5 games, though, their production's really been on this second line, guys. What is that? 9 goals in their past 5 games from their second line, which consists of Thomas Hertl, Logan Couture, and Timo Meier. Great production there. And even Jonas Donskoy, I know Joe called him the other night, and he had a goal, maybe even 2 goals that night, because he's definitely, 3 goals, 2 assists. And coming on the power play, he's got 2 power play points in the past 5 games. Brent Burns is coming on nicely, but they bumped him up already. 6,600 for Brent Burns is just too much. He does have 1 goal, 6 assists in his past 5. I did think that he was going to be more productive than Carlson, and I still believe that, probably because he's got the chemistry. But overall, those are the plays. If I'm doing anything, I might GPP with like a second line here. You might get a little less ownership. Nashville, where's their scoring coming from? It's his first line again. Philip Forsberg, Ryan Johansson, Victor Arvidsson. I really like Forsberg at 6,500. I think he's coming around. He also, is on that. He's on the point in that first power play. Almost kind of play. Well, no, because Ovechkin actually plays the wing, but he does have a nice, certainly a nice shot there. Is it going to be power plays? Well, San Jose takes 4.25 penalties a game. Yeah, Nashville's power plays got to be considered. They are executing. Seems like it's been more so that second power play line that might have been scoring as of recently. Kyle Turris on that centering that second power play unit. I like Roman Josi where he sits. 2 goals and assists, 17 shots in from that defensive spot. Let me see here. Roman Josi. Yeah, Yosi's at 5,500. Ekholm's 5,600. And Subban 6,000. If you're going to play it, I think Roman Yosi's the better play here. Yeah, that's where I'd like. Give me that power play line. Yeah, give me that first power play line. Forsberg, Arvidsson, Johansson. And if I wanted to do a mega stack, what did I tell you? I'm going Josi on it. But I'm probably not going to throw all my eggs in that basket, though. I think it's one of the riskier games on the slate, to be honest. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Anaheim versus Chicago. This is in Chicago. Anaheim is a 105 favorite, 5.5 over/under. It looks like John Gibson's going to start for Anaheim against Corey Crawford, who's been playing really well since he's come back off that injury. Kind of actually surprised at that. Looking at Corey Crawford, he's got 5.9 points per game, but he comes in at 8,100, a little bit more expensive. It's kind of ironic that they're going to put him at that price because you can get John Gibson, who's averaging 7.1 at 7,600. I think John Gibson's the better play here, to be honest here. Boy, that Chicago team is, they got that on fire first line. I mean, if you have to think that if there is big scoring, it's coming from DeBrincat, it's coming from Kane, it's coming from Toews, and the assists seem to come from, I don't think he's a goal scorer as much as it's Cahoon. Dominic Cahoon's getting a fair amount of assists this year. I think he has 1 assist in the past 5, though. To be honest, I like Anaheim in this one, to be honest. DeBrincat 5 goals, 2 assists in his past 5 games. That's great production. Taves at 4 assists. But Anaheim's giving up 2.3 goals per game. I mean, you can't score on this team, really. Gibson's that lights out, and there's great, he's got a great front 6 and defenseman in front of him. I don't like where Chicago sits in this one. I know we always say, how long can Anaheim do this, win with low amount of goals, because they don't score a lot either. 2.6 goals for, 2.3 goals against. It's hard to think that there's a good play here on the Anaheim side in this slate. There's going to be goals in other games here. I'm probably fading them, to be honest. And I don't really want to spend too much time talking about this one because, aside from Hampus Lindholm, a defenseman for Anaheim's getting 3.7 points per game, 7 points in 9 games. That's great production. I wouldn't mind having him in my lineup to pair up with Gibson. I'd like that. I like Montour at 40. He's 4,300. He's getting 2.33. His more so comes from blocks. But other than that, I don't see much value here. If you want to risk the top line for Chicago, if Chicago does win, it's going to be the top line. It's going to be DeBrincat. It's going to be Taves. It's going to be Kane. So those would be your guys to have in. Everyone else, a couple other plays you might see in the lineups. Artem Anisimov, 3 points the past 5 games. I don't think that he's going to come through tomorrow. Nick Schmaltz, 2 goals, 10 shots, or 2 points rather, 10 shots in the past 5. That's just not enough production in this slate. And I still like this third line from Anaheim, this Maxime Comtois, and I like Adam Henrique. They could be a pairing as a utility and a wing on that third. If you want the utility slot Henrique and put Maxime Comtois as your third winger, that's potential here. He has. They have two assists. You get Henrique. I think he's on. Is he on their second power play? Yeah, you got Henrique and Comtois both on the power play, second power play unit. The chance is there, because you look, Chicago's penalty kill is one of the worst in the league. So, that wouldn't be too bad of a risky play because you wouldn't spend a lot. You're going to have high dollars left over for other slates, and it could be a good play. In terms of goalies, like I said, I wouldn't mind playing John Gibson in this one. I think he's going to be a highly owned cash game play. And Corey Crawford, he's just out tomorrow, because Anaheim's not going to shoot on him, so you're not going to get that play from the GPP side of things either. Let's go to the next slate here. As we're nearing down, 2 more games left here. We got the LA Kings heading into Dallas. Dallas is a 160 favorite, 5.5. You know what? Dallas. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't. I don't even think I would throw a quarter on this LA team right now on a GPP tourney. It's that bad. If you read the news, LA has had a closed-door meeting. Rob Blake was even involved, the GM there. They just aren't producing. Aside from Arizona, they probably have the least amount of goals in the league. Yeah, they've gotten 15 goals in 8 games this year. It's horrible. No, LA, no part of them. I'm not even going to mention their team. They got Jeff Carter. Iafallo, I think he had 2 of their goals of the 15. He's got 7 points on the year. But against a Ben Bishop that I think, he needs to play better too. He's had a couple little hiccups, but overall, Dallas at home is where I'm at here. Yeah, you're right there, Mitch. And I was just about to say Dallas, old Mitch's team right there. He's definitely stacking heavy on, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, Radulov. I think you got them in play. I think the other night I called, I can't remember. I was talking to Joe about if I called for John Mark the other day in third, but I could be wrong. I like John Klingberg still at 6,100. He's one of those rare ones where I'll still give him that 6,100 and I'll play him. And especially in GPP, he really doesn't let you down. There was one game he did let me down, but he's getting great production. Yeah, look at this, 6,100. He's getting 4.29. He's got 6 points in 7 games. He takes 3.4 shots on average. He's in play. I like pairing him with Ben, and I'd like to get Radulov. So those would be my 3. Call it a mega stack on Dallas. And in a cash game, what is Bishop? going to cost you? Yeah, Bishop's going to be at the high end. You won't have enough for Bishop. If you did want the 3 points from Bishop for the win, oh, geez, do you even? No, I don't even think you do that. I think you get your goalie elsewhere and stick with that Sagan, Ben, Radulov, and if you wanted to play Klingberg, he's in play. But I'm out on Bishop at that price. You just won't afford him if you. But if you have second, third line pair or so from your other games, and you want to stack on those games, Bishop's going to be a solid goalie play to get you that 3 points. And let me just see here on home ice. What is Dallas? Dallas is 3-2 at home, 18 goals for. Yeah, Dallas is giving up 14 goals in 5 games, so under 3 goals a game Dallas gives up. So yeah, you got a win from Bishop in line. Yeah, let's just bring that up quick here. Let's see if I have that. Let me see if I can bring up while I'm team stats for LA. I want to say they do average around high 20s in shots. Yeah, my thing's going to give me fits. But, yeah, I wouldn't play Bishop probably in a GPP. I would probably look elsewhere. But a cash game, I would like to have him. Last game on the slate, Pittsburgh heading to Edmonton. Late night game here. Pittsburgh's a 128 favorite, 6 on the over-under. You got Matt Murray going to play against Cam Talbot, most likely. Those have not been confirmed yet. Yeah, but Murray coming off a big win against Toronto, that shutout win, and believe me or Joe did not call a Boulder award for him that game. It's just, it was unbelievable. Enjoyed every minute of it, that's for sure. But is this the game that Crosby gets his first goal? That's really what we find ourselves questioning every time. And I can't believe it. He's gotten some production, but he's just not getting the goals yet. And they've been, messing with his line combination here and there. He's got Brian Rust up there in his first line. I personally, I own a Brian Rust jersey. I like Brian Rust. I don't know why I can't find team stats here. But. All right, let's go back into this. Here, Edmonton has gotten better, call it, in their penalty kill. They've come to the middle of the pack, but they've probably not played a team like Pittsburgh. But Pittsburgh doesn't draw too many penalties, ironically. So I don't think you're going to see much along the lines of special teams here. In this one, Connor McDavid is a must play. He just is 7,900. I know he's a lot, 5.83 on average. He will get a goal tomorrow. He'll get a goal. And I have no doubts about that. It's just, for some reason, the Penguins will always do that. Now, who did I like in this slate? I personally, Chris Letang's gotten a little bit high priced at 6,700, but the dude's been a machine. 8 points in 6 games. It's hard to ignore that stat. Malkin has certainly been on the tear as well, and I think he is now more. Yeah, Malkin is a lot more than Sidney Crosby now. He's at 7,500. Sidney's down to 6,700. But look at the production so far from Sidney. 3 points on average. That's probably one of his lowest that he's seen in his career. 6 goals, 6 games played, he's only got 5 assists. He's not getting as many shots. I didn't like Broussard playing with him in those first few games personally. So I just didn't like that. So I think Rust is the better play with Crosby. And yeah, they haven't really gotten that much production yet, but it just started. Give them time. But in this one, I think you have to continue. Evgeny Malkin, Phil Kessel. The production's there. Look at this. Past 5 games, Malkin, 9 points, 10 shots. 6 points, 12 shots for Phil Kessel. Those are your plays. Third line hasn't done much. Fourth line hasn't done much. It's that second line for Penguins, and I think that's where you're gonna put your money at. Yep, Mitch, you're right. Malkin is. I've always been a Malkin fan more than a Crosby. And that's when you live in the city of Pittsburgh like I do, everyone's a Crosby fanatic. Malkin's always kind of got that short end of the stick. Malkin was taking too many penalties, but I was like, Malkin was giving Crosby every line mate he ever had. And he would really produce with guys. And once they'd start producing, I'd give them to Crosby. And it was just, I'm like, dude, Malkin could probably have more points than Sidney if they would give him, the luxury that Sidney's had over his career. But, I don't like where Murray is against this team, to be honest. I watched a few of their games, Edmonton, in the preseason. I think they can score on Matt Murray. So that being said, McDavid's in play. They actually bumped up and moved. Well, I guess he must have been hurt. Yeah, Ty Ratty's hurt. You got Kyler Yamamoto winging opposite Connor McDavid. So let's be safe here. Let's pair up Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with Connor McDavid. That's your safe play. And they're going to get points. Draisaitl, he's good. He's going to be on the power play. I think the Penguins will take some penalties. They only do 2.33, but that's a matter of time. I feel like they're normally they think they take more penalties than that. I do like Darnell Nurse as well. I know I've said that many times. He's gotten 3 points past 5 games, 13 shots. Limited blocks, though. You know what? I'm going to take Adam Larson in this one. Give me Adam Larson at 3,000. 1 assist, 6 shots, 11 blocks past 5. Not bad production. He doesn't get power play time, but you know what? In that case, I'm okay to spend down and take a chance on the 1.52 points or so and hope that maybe he gets an assist there on that first line D. So that's in play. And I do like Murray here for the win. Edmonton's they're heading down the gutter here. Yeah, the Penguins are 3-1-2, but they've had rest. And they're coming off a big 3-0 win against one of the hottest teams in the league, Toronto. So Matt Murray is in play. Probably cash game. I don't think I would go with a GPP on that one. No, I think Cam Talbot can be a GPP play actually if I'm down to it. Hoping that McDavid overpowers, wins the game single-handedly versus the Penguins. I could see that. He is the best player in the world. Connor McDavid going up against what some say the second best player in the world was Crosby, but unbelievable. Looking at some NHL news here, I guess Mrazek made some great saves. Boy, Joe hates him, but we might have to get on that Mrazek train. Oh, and goal scored by Jacob Trouba. Winnipeg comes back for the win against St. Louis. That's 3 points for me for playing Hellebuck. And I don't know if that made me or broke me here. Looking at my lineup here. Yeah, my quintuple up. I am now in the money. And I am in the money in the 1.25K hip check. 29 and 29.3 points for my lines tonight. I only played a couple, didn't have enough time. I'm going on vacation. This flag behind me is the Peruvian flag, so I will be in Peru Wednesday until the following Sunday. I'm going to try to do a couple live videos with Joe when I can. I'll certainly be watching in the spectator side if I'm not giving my opinions and trying to rattle my brother's chain there a little bit and tell him Buffalo is going to get shut out. Mitch knows what I'm talking about, but let's play the game by myself here. I can't lose, right? At worst, I can tie with myself. Let's go. We got a diamond stack. Do we have one here? And I think we do, and I'm going to go that way right now. Give me that Florida Panther second line going into Madison Square Garden. Give me Jonathan Huberdeau. Give me Vincent Trocheck. And I guess I'd almost have to call it the power play here, but I'll just go with it. Dennis Malgin is the other winger that they're playing. He does have 3 assists in 5 games. So, Mitch, Nashville 2. I like that one too. I also like Ottawa 2. Detroit 2 did not do me good today. But yeah, let me get that Ottawa 2 line that also got me that Ryan Zingle, Chris Tierney, Mark Stone line for Ottawa. I like that play too. Calgary 2. Yeah, against that Montreal team. Yeah. Even Calgary 1. You know, I know we try to steer away from line ones, but Gaudreau's just been an animal this year, right? Cold stack here. You know what? I said it, and I'm going to say it again. I'm sticking with this Boston-Ottawa game. I'm going Boston line 1, be honest with you. I think there will be a goal scored by them, but to get 12 points, I don't see it. Another one I might be apt to say is that Chicago line 1 against Anaheim. Anaheim, just Gibson. I'm just a Gibson fanatic. When I hit big on my GPP last year, it was John Gibson shutting out Washington. I think he had like 45 saves that night, and I had like over 10 points with Gibson. Unbelievable night. Boulder Award. Boulder Award. You know what? I'm going to call it. Mitch called the snowflake of it. I'm going to say Ben Bishop gets the shutout against the Kings. So that snowflake is going to fit right in with my Boulder Award of Ben Bishop. I'll try to do a cash game with Bishop in which case I think I'm going to actually try to play a lot of Montreal here, or at least I think Montreal's got some good potential tomorrow with a fair price tag that I can afford to pay for Bishop here. I like where Columbus sits against Arizona a little bit. The more I look at this game, the more I think that maybe they go off with Seth Jones back in their lineup. Seth Jones did have like 60 points last year as a defenseman. He was great, and they were lacking him. So you put him back in with Werenski, and Columbus becomes really dangerous. I really like Nashville to actually win in a 4-2 fashion against San Jose too, and I think that the Nashville will be concentrated on that first and second line, that there's going to be points too. But give you a quick rundown here of the games before I head out of here, and Joe he'll be doing a solo show whether he knows it or not tomorrow, as I have an ice hockey game, my first game back in a while. I'm a defenseman in a men's league, so that's where I play. But you know what? Let's go through it. Florida, I like Florida in this one over New York Rangers. Arizona, Columbus, I'm all on Columbus. scratch the Arizona. Calgary, Montreal, toss-up game. Stay away from the goalies. Plays on both sides. Boston, Ottawa. I'm fading Boston, and I'm heading towards Ottawa in a lineup. I think even Ottawa could be some GPP play as well, because I don't look for Rask to shut Ottawa down. I actually look for Ottawa to kind of score 4 or 5 goals. San Jose, Nashville. Like I said, I just said 4-2. I think that it's going to be all Nashville, really. Maybe a late goal against for the San Jose Sharks. Anaheim, Chicago, low scoring. I think Anaheim will get their wish to kind of dictate the speed of the game here. Usually if Anaheim scores first, it's kind of like going to be a 2-1 game because they just smother you. LA, Dallas all the time. It is Quick, and that, you know what? If Quick's in that, I actually look for them, Dallas, to score more goals on Quick than they would Campbell. I like Campbell the way he's been. But yeah, give me like a 5-1 win, even 5-0 potential there for that Dallas team. And Pitt, Edmonton, I look for more of a 4-3 type game with, Edmonton, it'll be McDavid. It will be Nugent Hopkins. That'll be your first pair. That'll be some goals there. I think Crosby gets you that 1 goal tomorrow. Finally, I know I've been saying it a long time, but against Cam Talbot, I think that's a likely to happen. I think that second line continues a good point streak with Kessel and Malkin. But that does it out here. Certainly leave me a thumbs up if you like the video. Follow us here and on Twitter, DFS Quarry. My personal Twitter, JSMiner87. Hey, Mitch, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Certainly like BS with you about hockey. And hopefully Joe can get us a good breakdown tomorrow. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night.